Many of us have beautiful flowers blooming in our gardens. But what many don't realize is that many of these plants are not only visually appealing, they may also be herbs, edible crops, or even have medicinal properties. Today we turn our attention to Artemisia, a remarkable plant. Artemisia species are widely found in nature and are celebrated for their therapeutic uses. They have long been employed in the treatment of diseases such as malaria, hepatitis, cancer, inflammation, and various infections caused by fungi, bacteria, and viruses. Els Britt, the founder and managing director of Mlango Farm, explains that the introduction of Artemisia has truly been a game changer for the local community. According to Els, the reason she decided to cultivate this plant is not just for its aesthetic value, but for its powerful medicinal properties, particularly its ability to combat malaria, as it acts as a natural anti-malarial. In Kenya, efforts have been underway for years to find effective remedies to eradicate malaria. And through the House of Artemisia, Els and other industry leaders are championing the cultivation of this life-changing crop. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of Artemisia and explore its incredible potential.
Thank you, Mungai. Hello and welcome to Kilimo na Biashara show. We are at Mlango Farm yet again. Remember, we promised you that we'll be back here for another crop. Well, we're here, and we're here for Artemisia. It's often overlooked in your garden. Perhaps you have it and you don't know any of the benefits that you can get from that crop. So are you curious to know more about Artemisia? Well, then you have to join me in the farm. Let's go. Els!
Hey!
Good to see you again.
Hi! Welcome back!
Thank you so much! This time for Artemisia.
Yes, Artemisia is a very good story.
So before anything else, introduce us to Artemisia. What is Artemisia?
So Artemisia is a plant. There's different varieties. We grow Artemisia annua and Artemisia afra. And the big story about this plant, that it's medicinal for various things, but the big story is against malaria. It prevents and cures malaria. So you grow the plant and then you dry it, you make tea of it. And for prevention, you drink 3 cups of tea per week. It prevents malaria. To cure, you drink a whole liter of the tea per day, in a day, for a week long. And it's a big story.
And how did it get to Mlango Farm? I know you have so many crops, but how did Artemisia get to your farm?
So we are part of a worldwide network. It basically started with a visitor who said, hey, Mlango Farm, you're close to Nairobi, you're not in malaria area, but can you please be part of this network so that you can help spreading the story of this plant? So we said, yeah, when Commander was still alive, we both said, yes, we want to be part of this story because it's an amazing story. So we became a House of Artemisia. The network, it's a French organization. The network is called House of Artemisia. There are 130 houses of Artemisia worldwide. Lots of them are farmers who help spreading the news.
And would you be able to identify Artemisia in a garden? Because I know it's normally overlooked.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, me as a farmer, I recognize every plant. Yeah, you can find it on the farm growing here. It is edible, but the best effect is to make a tea with it.
You'll show us the entire process of making tea, how you dry it. But first, let's clear with this. So what are we preparing? So this is how Artemisia looks like.
Yeah, no, Artemisia is the plant, but these are the seeds from annua. We just harvested this a few months back. and the seeds are very small. So usually we even sieve them. So because they're so small. You see those yellow tiny ones.
Yeah.
So then you have, because you don't want them all concentrated, you just mix it with the soil, so that you can, when you plant it, it will be equally divided better. So then we have these pots that we use for.
And what does the soil has?
Just soil, maybe a bit of cocoa peat, but this is easy. You can just do this with soil. And don't dig it in, it's just very shallow on top. Because the seeds are so small, they don't go down. Just like this.
Voila.
Yeah.
And how long does it take before it grows up?
4 or 6 weeks. Then it comes up like this ones.
Oh, and that's ready. Now can we go transplant it?
Yeah.
We have some, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I'll show you. Let's go.
Let's go. Overall, Artemisia plant tends to have a subtle, elegant look with their fine aromatic foliage, and many species are quite attractive in gardens or farms, especially when grown for their medicinal benefits. To effectively manage Artemisia, especially Artemisia annua, the source of artemisinin, on a farm, focus on site preparation, weed control, fertilization, irrigation, pest and disease monitoring, and proper harvesting and post-harvest techniques. Artemisia has been grown successfully under minimal till systems, the aim of which is to conserve soil moisture. Some soils in Kenya are known to have a natural hard pan or a compaction pan that has been created by earlier cultivation practices. Artemisia can grow almost anywhere in the world, in every kitchen garden and in every field. It's actually only in an inconspicuous mugwort plant, and yet the hope for the millions of people that suffer from malaria. Its inner substance, artemisinin, is highly potent, effective and compatible. According to the international aid organization Doctors Without Borders, after the first dose, 90% of the agents that cause malaria were destroyed. The simplest way to take advantage of its curing properties is in the form of tea made from the plant. Even on its own, it can work miracles with the most serious form of malaria, Malaria tropica. Artemisia. I like the name. Nice, huh? Thank you so much for staying with us until this very moment. And if you're just joining us, well, it's not too late. Today we are focusing on Artemisia. It's a magical crop, trust me. Now we're going to plants as I engage Els to tell us more about Artemisia. My curiosity just roars. It keeps rising. Well, let's go. Now Els, we can plant this. Show us how to do it.
So this is Artemisia annua. So this one is grown from seed. So you just take it out with the roots. Oh, this is a nice big root.
You don't have to put fertilizer, manure, nothing.
No, this soil is so healthy. Remember, this is an organic farm. This soil is so healthy, this plant is happy. And it will, when the soil is healthy, the plant will be strong enough to do its own work.
Wow. How long will it take from there until you start harvesting or you start getting benefits from it?
Few months we can harvest, we dry, we make the tea.
I know you have some mature Artemisia.
Yeah, we have all over the farm, mixed cropping. So let me show you here. Just here we have
the two varieties.
Yeah, this is Afra.
Ooh, watch out!
This is a big one. Oh no, this is this one here.
Watch out!
This one here is Afra, Artemisia Afra is a big one. And this one you can take from cuttings. You can transplant with cuttings. Artemisia annua you cannot, but Artemisia afra you can cut and transplant. Or even put it down and then you
plant it straight.
Just on the side.
Okay. So there is a difference when you're planting. You have to grow Artemisia in a different way and plant annua in a different way.
They're just different. Afra is easier to transplant because you can just take it from cuttings. But for the tea you need to mix both annua and afra. So this type is Artemisia afra, and you can cut and transplant the cuttings.
Are the benefits the same as well?
A bit different, it's a bit scientific, but that's why it's good to mix them so that you have the proper benefits of the combination.
I've noticed you've grown Artemisia all around the farm. It's actually everywhere, quite literally. Why is that? What are the benefits of having Artemisia?
So it also helps with intercropping, with organic farming. It has a strong smell also. It actually smells really nice. The tea is bitter. But it's also really good for intercropping purposes. People in areas where there's a lot of mosquitoes, they also plant it around their houses because of the anti-repellent effect for the mosquitoes. But of course you really need to put it in your body as a tea to have the good effects against malaria.
And what are the management practices? Is it hard to manage? What are those things that you have to ensure it grows well?
Yeah, it's not difficult to grow. Once you manage to grow it from seed, once it's growing in the ground, it's not difficult to maintain. Just need water and sunshine.
As during my research, I saw that Artemisia grows well in dry areas, but now we are in Limuru. How is that possible?
It doesn't need a dry area, but it does well in dry areas. So here it also does well.
And now to the benefits of Artemisia. What's this fuss about Artemisia? Everyone is talking about it. What are the benefits?
So the main story, that's the reason why we became part of the House of Artemisia, is anti-malaria. This can save millions of lives. If every village in Africa would have just a few farmers growing this plant, we can get rid of malaria. But the story is not well known, so that's why it's my job, being a House of Artemisia, to talk about this story. Malaria, malaria, malaria. That's the big story. So everybody should be growing this and sharing it with their neighbors. It also helps, for example, menstrual pains, but that's not killing anybody. But it does help against menstrual pains. Bilharzia. In general, it's a very healthy plant. I drink the tea myself 3 times a week, but I don't have malaria where I live. But still, it's very, very healthy for all kinds of. It has a lot of beneficial.
So, else before we move to the next area, the drying and everything, I'm just curious, within the 130 houses of Artemisia across the world, I'm wondering, where are we as a country? How is the uptake in Kenya?
Yeah, so the 130 houses of Artemisia are worldwide. The organization is just 10-15 years old. It's a French organization, so they started in the western part of Africa where people speak French, and now it's going also towards Kenya since a few years. And yeah, the more we talk about it, the more people will say, hey, let's do this, let's grow this. So it's growing.
And now I think I'm ready to take Artemisia tea. Shall we? Okay, let's go. Before planting Artemisia annua, it's important to understand its needs for successful growth. This plant thrives in a temperate climate, preferring temperatures of between 18 to 30 degrees Celsius. The plant does best in well-drained soils, typically sandy or loamy, with a slightly acidic to neutral pH of 6.0 to 7.5. Full sun is essential for at least 6 to 8 hours a day to support its growth, and it's moderately drought tolerant once established. However, regular watering is necessary during the early stages of growth.
When planting, it can be started from seeds or cuttings and should be spaced about 18 to 24 inches apart to allow for ample growth. Artemisia annua can grow into a tall branching shrub reaching up to 2 to 4 meters. So it's important to manage its spread and it can become aggressive. It's also relatively resistant to pests, though aphids or mite can occasionally show up. The plant is often grown for its medicinal properties, particularly the compound artemisinin, which is used to treat malaria. On the other hand, Artemisia afra has slightly different requirements, as it is native to the highland regions of Africa and prefers a warm climate. It's better suited to subtropical or temperate zone and can tolerate some frost, but it grows best at higher elevations of 1,000 to 3,000 meters. Like its relative Artemisia afra prefers well-draining soils with a slightly acidic to neutral pH and tolerates poor soil conditions. It can grow in full sun, but in particularly hot climates, it benefits from some afternoon shade. While it's drought-tolerant once established, regular watering during the growing season will help it thrive, especially when it's young. Artemisia afra typically grows into a bushy shrub, reaching heights of 1 to 2 meters with woody stems and aromatic gray-green leaves. It is often planted for its medicinal uses as well.
Well, we are at the finishing stages. This is the process of drying Artemisia. And well, else,
Yeah.
how many centimeters should I cut this, or what's the process?
So it shouldn't be too small. Some people make powder of it, but that's too small. It's best effect when it's a bit bigger. So yeah, like the size of your nail. So you just cut it, because it's easier to cut it when it's still fresh. After it's dried, it's harder. So we cut it when it's still fresh, and then we dry it.
So how long does it take to dry them, or how long does it take to dry up, or do you hasten the process?
You just dry it. So yeah, it depends a bit on the weather. If it's very sunny, the drying goes faster than when it's very humid and rainy season. So you just wait until it's really completely dry, and then you can pack it and use it for your tea.
Do you add anything? Are there additives?
No additive. No, absolutely not.
Wow. So what's the difference when you consume this when it's dry and when you consume it when it's in this nature?
You would need a lot more. When it's dried, it's more concentrated. That's why it's best to dry it to get the best effect.
And what do you do with the stock? Because I see we don't use it much. You just dispose it, or it has a particular usage? Like
this, you can still use, but when it's a bit too thick, then like not too thick. But like this, you can still use it. It still has the beneficial effects.
Since you said it's good for malaria, it's anti-malarial, menstrual cramps, I'm just wondering, how about you? How does it help you as a person and also as the people here who are at Mlango Farm?
So we don't have malaria here, but this big story is it saves lives. I mean, of course, nice menstrual cramps, but that doesn't kill people. Malaria, this saves lives. There's so many people all over Africa who spend all their money on just running to the doctor, especially with children. If you have a family with 5 children, all the time you need to go do testing, buy the drugs to cure yourself from malaria, and then you have a plant.
So what's the process of making Artemisia tea?
So yeah, so after now this is dried, then we have the tea. And you just boil water. You boil the tea in the water, few minutes, just a few minutes, and then you can leave it. So if you're sick, you need to drink a liter of that tea for during the whole day. So then you just leave it and you drink it during the day.
While it's still hot.
You can warm it again, but you don't have to. Or you leave it in a thermos. And for prevention, you just drink 1 cup every 2 days. So let's say 3 cups per week. Yeah, it's quite bitter, the tea. The smell is nice, but the tea is bitter.
Bittersweet.
It's bitter. No, not bittersweet, bitter. I can't make it any better than it is. But you can add honey or sugar.
Also, how much do you normally sell this Artemisia, and how do you package it?
So we pack the dried tea in packs of 40 gram. That's how we sell it. But it's not for commercial purposes. It's we do this because we want to spread the word and we want to teach people. So we also organize courses on how to do this.
So you also offer trainings here on Artemisia?
Yes, yes, we train people, especially like NGOs, people who work in communities where the malaria is a big problem. So we focus a lot on training, on spreading the news, on how do we use this plant, how do we use the tea.
Now, how do you see the future of Artemisia? Because it's really gaining traction. How do you find it?
Well, I hope the future is that we can get malaria out of Kenya, out of the world. So the future is every village in Africa should be growing. If every village should have 2 or 3 farmers growing this and spreading the word. So again, it's not really for commercial purposes. It's for spread the word. We can get this malaria under control if people know about this plant.
Thank you so much, Els. You know, every time I come here, I get so fulfilled. There's a lot to learn. You're quite knowledgeable. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you allowing us to come back again to your farm. We are hoping that we'll come back again, right? Of course. Cheers to that, and I'm not leaving here without my tea.
Yes, let's get some tea.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. So it's a bit bitter, but not as bitter as malaria.
Dried Artemisia has had significant cultural, medicinal, and economic impacts both globally and in Kenya. This plant, especially Artemisia annua, is primarily known for its role in traditional medicine and modern scientific applications. Here's a closer look at how dried Artemisia has impacted lives across the world, specifically Kenya. By 2009, approximately 4,000 smallholder farmers were cultivating Artemisia annua across 4,000 hectares, a substantial increase from the initial 40 hectares with 3 to 4 farmers in 2002. And when it comes to production and income, each hectare can yield up to 2 tons of dry leaves. And in 2010, Botanical Extracts at EPZ Limited paid out approximately 153 million shillings to farmers, with payments ranging from 50,000 to 60,000 per ton of dry leaves. In a study involving partners in Kenya, approximately 3,000 cases of presumed malaria were treated with Artemisia annua teas over the previous year. About 250 of these cases were children, and 54 were pregnant women in their first trimester. Malaria remains a significant public health issue in Kenya, with 37 million people at high risk. In 2019, health facilities reported over 4.6 million malaria cases, averaging nearly 13,000 cases daily, according to the Ministry of Health.
And thank you for being part of the show today. We truly appreciate you, and I'm sure today you've learned a lot about Artemisia and how Kenya can kick malaria away. At Mlango Farm, this is one of the houses of Artemisia amongst 130 located across the world. We are privileged to be here. That's all that we had for you today. My name is Linda Koskei. See you again next Sunday for yet another exciting episode of Kilimo na Biashara. Cheers!